I want to start out by talking about the first SNITI conference that we had in Atlanta, Georgia. And one of the challenges that we had in developing crisis plans was people were really unable to identify what strengths were in people as separate from skills and interests. And while you need to know all three, certainly knowing people's strengths and helping to encourage them to use them is a big part of what we do at START. And so we talked to Dan about that as he was preparing to come to the Atlanta conference and for the very first time do the keynote address. Now, Dan has been a keynote speaker at SNITI from the very first SNITI in Atlanta, Georgia. I think compelling one, however, was that very first one, where Dan actually taught us all how to strength spot, and we strength spotted throughout that conference. That was a turning point for both me as a person in terms of understanding my own personal strengths and the strengths of others, but START as a model and the START community as a whole. Strength spotting became a very important part of what we do, and it still is a very important part of what we do today. And it was Dan who brought strength spotting to START. While START had always been a strength-based program, I think it's really important to say that Dan is the one who helped give us the tools in order to grow that strength-based approach and make it accessible to as many people as possible. So I want to thank Dan for that. And I want to say, of course, you won the Bill Gardner Award. That minimal thing is not so minimal. It was the most important thing you could have done, and you continue to do going forward over the years. The second thing I want to do is acknowledge my friend Bill Gardner, who was a leader in the field, an inspiration to me, and a personal mentor and friend. And one of the things about Bill that many people don't know was his focus on hope and strength. And the thing that Dan brings to all of us is not just the work of Marty Seligman, but his own work on hope. Hope and hope as a verb, hope as an action, very big, important part of what we do. And thanks to Dan, we pursue it every day. Bill Gardner had a similar feeling about hope and also about positivity and hope and resilience all being connected as we deal with the inevitable stressors in life. In fact, Bill signed his name every day of his life by saying, keep the smile. And Dan helps us all keep the smile. So it is with a very broad smile that I say, congratulations, Dan Tomasulo, my friend, my colleague, my mentor, on receiving the William Gardner Award today. And hi to everybody in SNITI land, and I hope to see you again soon.